Alright, Scuba Bat Dan here from the ACF. I'm going to be showing you guys how to cut Pyrex tubing. This is 1/8 inch thick walled, 3/4 inch diameter, 1/2 inch inside diameter Pyrex tubing. I'm going to be using a 48mm diamond wheel that is usually used for a Dremel that I've mounted into a chuck on my lathe. So I've got the tube running all the way through the lathe, and basically I'm just going to add some water and some pressure, and we're going to cut some Pyrex. So I'm going to try and do this with one hand while dumping water and adjusting the the in and out of the lathe, so bear with me. And I'm running this in reverse, so basically it spins this direction, which then puts pressure against this, which I've got the screw tightened, so this pushes it in the tightening direction. So here we go. And get our scribe point started, so we know what we're doing. And once we got our scribe point started, I'll start adding some water. And we just keep adding water and pressure and water and pressure. Takes a little bit of time to do. I'll probably run through more water than I want to, but that's the way it works. Now what the water does is helps lubricate so the diamond blade doesn't heat up and you burn through the epoxy that they use to bond the chip to the steel plate of the wheel. What I'm doing is alternating between giving it some water until it gets to a certain pitch, and once it gets to a certain pitch, then I get a little bit more pressure and add water. See it cutting through it nice and easy. This is something you really don't want to rush. I'm going to take this nice and slow. Too much pressure will cause it to crack prematurely and you get a bad edge. Once we get to a certain point, it'll just pop right off. Almost there. You see a gap in there. Oh, there we go. here's our piece of Pyrex that we just cut off. Let's see if I can get this better look to you. Of course, we're going to have to clean this up. One side of this I've cleaned up already. This is the side that isn't cleaned. You can see where we kind of broke through. This side I've already cleaned up. It's all nice and flat. The way you clean it up basically is I'll show you how I clean up this edge, and then I'm going to do this one separately. Basically all we're going to do is take this and we're going to run it back a little bit, run it in towards about halfway, covering, and we're going to basically face it. And because of the diamond, what it's going to do is basically just grind those pieces off. Just give a little bit of pressure, water, and just keep facing in. And what it does is it just grinds it nice and smooth. Basically, I'm alternating between water and pressure. If I had two hands, I'd be going ahead and doing pressure and water all at the same time, but you guys want to see how this is done, so there you go. So then once it's done, you just back this off. Now you can see the edge is nice and smooth. Doesn't have those raised pieces. It's nice and smooth now. And if you want to further smooth this, you can go up in grit to like 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 grit sandpaper and get a nice polish so it gets rid of some of the micro cracks. But then once I do this piece, the same way I'll face it just like I did this one. This will be nice and smooth like this side is. And that's how you cut Pyrex. This is Scuba Bat Dan. I'm out.